Hi everyone, I am Fleur and welcome to the Food Allergy Nation. Today, I want to talk about something that has to do with allergies, but not food allergies. I want to talk about pollen and environmental allergies and how to figure out what the levels are in your local area. This video is not promotional and I am not a doctor, so if you have allergies, please consult a medical professional to find out how to treat them. But what I can help with is sharing my 3 favorite ways to determine what the pollen levels are in my area. Number 1 on my list of go-to places to find the pollen levels in my area, which is the Dallas-Fort Worth area, is the local news. The local news can be very useful because they tend to have very accurate readings of the pollen levels, what type of pollen, and what the exact numbers are for that pollen in your local area. The downfall, though, of watching the local news channels is that I usually can't have the TV on or be close proximity to the TV for hours each morning while I wait and try to catch the pollen forecast. As good as it is, if you're not there to watch it, it'll be really hard to find it. I've even recorded the news before thinking, well, I'll just go back and I'll find it. That was not easy either. I literally was fast forwarding, rewinding. I couldn't find it. I never found it. I gave up. So the positive about the local news channels is they do tend to be very accurate, at least in our area, and they are current for that day and can give you a timeline and the details and the numbers and when it will be worse or better. But if you aren't right there able to watch it, it's not very helpful to you, right? So this is only an option when you can have the TV on and keep it in the background and you're in close proximity. So my second favorite way to check the local pollen forecast is the Weather Channel app on my phone. I check it probably almost every day because here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, the weather is crazy and you just never know what it's going to do. So I check it daily anyway for the weather. And then I also take a look at the pollen because they do have some information on this app for the environmental allergens. If you're using the Weather Channel app for the weather, you know that they give the daily forecast, they give a 10-day forecast, they give an hourly forecast where it breaks down everything. It even tells you the sunrise, the sunset. It gives you all this information. But if you scroll down to the bottom, past the weather, past the UV index, past the radar, at the bottom there's a small section that has other things. There is a flu report where it will tell you if the flu is high or low in your area. And then there is the pollen forecast. And then there is an outdoor exercise section. I think it's called running or something like that. And it tells you if the air quality is good or what the weather's doing for outdoor exercise. So if you tap allergy, it will take you to another screen where it will show you a little bit more details. It does show you low, moderate, or high on that initial screen. The problem we have is I believe that this is an average. So what do I mean about it being an average? Well, it might say moderate and show you a yellow screen. And that is correct. It's the truth. The problem is if you select it and scroll down a little bit, it breaks it down further where it will show you which type of pollen is moderate. You can see that here, but sometimes you'll look on there and one type of pollen is low and another one is high. So yes, it is correct to say it's a moderate pollen day because the two together equal medium. But if the ragweed pollen is high and grass pollen is low and you're really allergic to ragweed, guess what? Your allergen is high. So you have to be kind of careful about that. You want to follow through and check which areas are actually high or low. Don't just take it at face value from that original screen. You need to look a little deeper to make sure your specific allergens are not actually in the high zone. And my third and favorite place to go to check the pollen forecast and see our local environmental allergens is pollen.com. It's a website and it has a lot of useful, detailed information on what pollen is happening in your area. When you pull it up, you will see basically a map of the entire country in different colors, and you can see which areas of the country are currently having low, medium, or high allergy levels. So just at first glance, you can see here that Texas has environmental allergens. It's one of the few states that has any type of allergens in the air right now, even in December, whereas the majority of the country is low. Thanks a lot, right? But you can get more specific by typing in your zip code or writing in the address. So I'm going to put in here the zip code to DFW because it has its own zip code, and that will pull up what says Dallas. And we will see the allergens broken down for the Dallas area. We can see that the main allergen going on this week is juniper, which people also call mountain cedar. This screen is clear and easy to read at a glance. There's also a 5-day pollen forecast that you can click on, which is really helpful to me, and I look at it almost every day. It can change depending on the weather here. The environmental allergens can change, but it's really helpful to look because if I have something I want to do outside and I see today has high pollen, but 2 days from now it's low, then I'll wait and do it around that schedule just to give myself better odds on not having any type of allergies, because who wants to have a runny nose, itchy eyes, itchy nose, sneezing, and of course those symptoms can take off and last for a few days. Nobody wants that. So what about you? Have you tried any of these sites to check the pollen forecast, or do you go somewhere else? If you found another option for everybody, put it in the comment section below because we would love to have as many choices as possible. The more information we can find out, the better. So thank you for watching my video over my top 3 favorite places to check the pollen forecast, and I wish you all a healthy and symptom-free allergy season. I'm Fleur, and we'll see you next video.